Oh, how time flies. It's been a wild year, with so many more surprises and joyful moments than I ever thought possible. As 2024 comes to an end, and we prepare to enter the final year of the first quarter of this century, here's a look back over some of my favorite moments from this year in the Isle. I suppose, though, that some people just never learn.
Kids.
10 baby Carnos, and the sub that fell off the cliff later. We called it a day and logged off. Another Carno has moved into her territory in her absence. Although in general Helga appears to prefer her solitary life, when a pair of Seratos threaten the new resident Carno, she finally gets to her feet and rushes to help defend it. Weakened by hunger, nutritionally deficient, and growing lonelier by the day, Kira finds herself in the West Rail access. The Omniraptor is a social animal, and 2 years of near total isolation from her own kind has not been kind to her. It has become clear that in recent months, much of her instinctual drive for survival have begun to fade as social isolation darkens her world. She targets a young stegosaur that has fallen just behind its small herd. This is not the ideal place for an ambush, but with her body condition declining by the day, she cannot afford to wait for the perfect opportunity. Frustration sets in as the stegosauruses simply wait her out in the water. They can see her protruding hips and sallow skin. She will starve long before they do. Two more stegosaurs approach, a small juvenile and his larger companion. The juvenile may be her best hope, but with 4 larger guardians, Kara simply cannot hope to hunt it alone. Injured, starving, and fearful for her life, she abandons the hunt and races away. There are herds of goats in the nearby highlands. Though they are not nutritious for her, they will keep her alive. At this point, that is all her instinct drives her to do: survive. I got more bold, fighting on the ground, ambushing dinos in ways they'd least expect. And then it happened. I dragged him away to a place that he'd have trouble getting back out of the water. The 2 adults and their pet Tenno followed, swimming directly into what can only be described as a trap. With the sub dead and one of the adult stegos still struggling to escape the water, I continued my attack. The other stego swung at me, killing the Tenno and missing me completely. Amazing. Now they were separated, one adult on either side of me, and still very aggressive. The one I'd already injured quite heavily slipped back into the water, and allowed me to beat him up even more. With the pair reunited, I was sure they'd return to their business. They'd already lost 2 herd members, and one of them was not doing great. One of the pair decided I wasn't worth it, and headed back toward their remaining juvenile. I'd say I allowed him to go, but honestly, my stamina was still very low. The other adult, though, just didn't want to accept defeat. I started eating my kill, and as he tried to adjust himself to get his tail close enough to hit me, he slipped. As I search the trees for him, I hear the sound of battle. Crap. I'm too slow. I come around the corner as he falls and rage sets in. You mess with the bull, you get the horns, as they say. Sorry about the audio. The Horde test has some serious sound glitches going on. We weren't really looking for a fight, but there's some kind of primal instinct that I think is triggered in most people and animals when they see something acting skittish. Or maybe that's just me. Regardless, when the Dibble didn't simply ignore us and confidently trot away, or alternatively attack on sight like the vicious wrecking ball they are capable of being, we decided to poke the bear. At least we had a proper meal now. Leaving the other gator my Serato kill, as they were much hungrier than I moved on once more toward the sound of a nearby herd. They had a baby. I hesitated. Baby may very well warn them of my approach. It spotted me and swam closer, likely gauging my aggression level. When in doubt, be chill. One of the steglings approached the water as the baby watched me. He didn't warn them. Herds are funny sometimes. They grow comfortable with numbers on their side. Complacent, you might even say. They had lost one member in this spot only a few minutes earlier, but the baby was still swimming around and running to and from the herd, and they hadn't seen or heard the gator since the stegling died. Must be safe to drink here now, right? I'm sure you can imagine the great toothy grin my Dino got as the Dibble approached the water. As I glanced over my shoulder, I saw another Serato inbound. And then another. Well, this wasn't good. 1 Serato I could handle. 2, manageable with the Pachy's help. 3 was pushing my limits. But we didn't have a choice now. We'd made our bed. It was time to lie in it. Partway through the fight, the Diblets came racing out of the trees. We'd protected them, now they were trying to help. One went down quickly, and the other turned tail and ran toward the swamp. I can't blame him. These odds were not good, especially at their size. The Pachy did his best. He wasn't fully grown and couldn't break the Seratos, but he kept rushing back in, trying to help me to the best of his abilities, drawing the Seratos off so that I could run. I was much too injured to continue this fight. I could only flee. And then the Pachy was back again, racing to my aid, like the absolute Chad he was. One last scuffle and I was done. I couldn't loop back in, my injuries were severe. I could only hope that my Pachy friend would escape somehow. I sent out 1 call for help, but it went unanswered. Alright, I needed to get out of here. And then, as if Dondi himself had heard my plea, the Seratos ran off to attempt to eat to heal. The 4th one was still keeping an eye on me alongside the sub, but I had exactly the opening I needed. Time to run for it. I was bleeding, they'd track me easily. I had to think fast. I hit the edge of the lake, got a quick sip, and saw them coming. I could swim for it. I had to swim for it. Either I would run out of stamina and drown, or I'd get grabbed by a dino. But I wasn't going down like this. Not a chance. The sub caught up, but I didn't have the stamina to tail slam. And then, apparently deciding that body buff would help, his buddy killed him, and I swam for it again. I didn't know where the other two adults had vanished to, but he didn't swim after me this time. Finally, it began to rain. I wouldn't need to return to the lake for water now, and I could graze until I got to safety and got back into a healthier state. I couldn't believe I'd survived. And then, just as he stood and walked toward the falls, they appeared. Serratos! They're right here, right here, right here!
On you?
Yeah.
I got no stamina.
Do I? I'm vomiting.
They're on me.
Yep. I am almost dead. I'm gonna die.
Head charge on that one. Head charge on that one.
I just got hit. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Oh my goodness.
Drop one.
Keep him off. Eat,
Drop
eat,
the other one.
eat. Oh my good gravy!
Oh my goodness. That was epic fight. I am red crit.
Oh my goodness, I was literally... Oh.
No Sam whatsoever. Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. I'm so glad they...
I am shaking so bad.
On the way there, however, another Serrato arrived. I'm beginning to see a pattern here. Are you? One of our numbers got cut down on their very first pounce. Dang. But at least their death left an opening for me to go in. We got him to second stage, and he attempted to camp a tree. But when he realized how much damage we'd done, he instead went to the corpse to attempt to gastro heal. It wasn't enough. Thank you all so much for joining me this year. I appreciate your support so much more than you could ever know, and I look forward to 2025 and where the year takes us. Happy New Year, my friends. Wishing you joy and peace in 2025.